Welcome to another edition of Your Image, the public relations program on TV, your flagship program. Today, we are having a fusion of all-time professions, talking about town planning and public relations. Town planning has evolved with human beings, and it's something that has been in existence, that has brought about development, that has brought about planning, and other socio-economic development in any nation. Today, I have intellectuals and I have professionals, town planners, who are on the set to discuss the topic, value of public relations to town planning management. Of course, in any settlement, you are bound to have structures, you are bound to have facilities, and you are bound to have a lot of things that can make living worthwhile. And according to Jane Jacobs, she said, designing a dream city is easy, but rebuilding a living one takes imagination. So I welcome town planner LUKMON LASISI. LUKMON LASISI is the Deputy Rector, Federal Polytechnic, ILARO, in charge of administration. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you.
It's nice having you. And also have the Deputy Chairman of the Nigerian Institute of Town Planning in Ogun State, talking about Pastor ADEFALA SOGBESAN. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you. Good evening, viewers.
Well, I just quoted Jane Jacobs, who said, designing a dream city is easy. However, rebuilding a living one takes imagination. I'd like to ask you, Mr. LASISI, how visionary is a town planner?
Yes, thank you once again. And let me also say town planners must be visionary in their approach to issue, because that profession itself, the profession of town planning, is about projecting into the future. It's about considering what is in existence in any environment and project into the future as to what will likely to happen if you do one thing or the other to modify the existing situations. And I expand further. If you look at the quotation you have just given to us, it is very easy. If you want to plan a city afresh, any human environment that you want to plan afresh, it is very easy. Because you may likely not encounter serious obstacles. But if you are rebuilding an existing city or human settlement, because of the existence of so many structures, infrastructures, and all things already created by men, all those things, you cannot remove them all suddenly. All those things cannot be erased. You have to plan along with them. So that is why it requires a lot of...
without displacement?
Yes. Even if there is going to be displacement, without minimal disruption to human activities. Because in planning, if you want to toy with replanning an existing town or cities, we always want to avoid disorderly arrangement of things. There is no way you can plan without involving certain manipulation of things already put in place by man. But when you are doing it, you must do it with the conscious attempt at putting things right, but with minimal disruption to the existing structure. That is why if you are projecting to the future, you must want to see what you are likely to get at the end of the day that will be better than what you are having at present. So that is the visionary aspect of it.
Thank you very much, sir. Let me quickly congratulate you on your election as the chapter chairman of the Ogun State Institute of Town Planning.
Thank you, sir.
Pastor SOGBESAN.
Thank you, sir.
Well, we've just been talking about distortions, displacements, when we are redesigning or when we are rebuilding a city or a society. Can you come up with your vision to engender a new strategy, particularly in steering the ship of town planning in Ogun State?
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. Once again, good evening, viewers. As a matter of fact, coming on board as the new chairman, which my distinguished colleagues have given me the opportunity to do, we are not going to totally start from afresh as if the institute or the association has not been existing. There are some things that were on ground, because I was even part of the last administration, that we will need to go through. But majorly, what this administration would like to do majorly is in the area of advocacy. We want more people to know about town planning. We want to change the conception or misconception that people have about our profession. You know, people have this kind of mind that once they hear town planners or town planning, they are looking for who is carrying a brush and a bag to just mark their building. So we want to change those mindsets. We want to let people know that that's just one aspect of town planning. So this administration, we want to really, like I said, the word advocacy is one of the key words or the pillar of the administration, making people to know, making town planning to be more popular. That's the area with which we are going to really work on.
But how far can the advocacy help in giving the voice to citizens?
Yes, thank God this program is about PR. This is what we have just started doing. You know, when people hear, the Holy Book says, faith comes by hearing. You know, so that's the intention. We want people to continue to hear, like we have the opportunity now. Town planning is about reordering. You understand me, sir? So, but before you can successfully reorder, because our people are used to certain ways of behavior, even though eventually they will still want to blame the town planners without knowing that they are the root cause of whatsoever disorganized society that we find ourselves. Yes. So that's why we really want to now begin to tell people about the implications of what they are doing. An example, sir. I was passing by on a certain road within Abeokuta here, and I saw a new car wash opening up. That car wash person owner wants to make money. That's right. But then, the water and everything that will be used in that car wash was not channeled into a proper place that will go and discharge it into the right place. That water is coming back on the road. And the water, once it goes back on the road gets disintegrated. You know, so those are the enlightenment. That's why I use the word advocacy. We want to really, we will be going out, meeting people, educating them on the implications of what they are doing. That is the area that this administration is going to really focus on.
Well, I really want to acknowledge that that would be a good area that you want to venture into. There have been a lot of discussions, particularly in Abeokuta, You see trailers being washed by the main road. You see so many odd activities taking place, damaging the roads. Even the what we call drainages are being damaged, truncated, and the like. Between your town planning institution and Ministry of Environment, do we have a synergy where we can curb all these illegalities?
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. Maybe I need to, first of all, make this a distinction so that we can really know where the lines are. We are an institution that is comprised of planners in different areas. Like we have the academics, we have those that work with the government, that are the ones that make policies, and we have those of us that are outside, and we have those of us that are in some agencies.
But they are still,
there are members. So what we need to do, because when you mentioned that was, well, how do we relate that to the Ministry of now? What we do, we are taking our notes. Once we take that notes, we will pass it to the appropriate quarters. Our members are in those institutions, in those agencies that we believe should take actions on them. But apart from that, that is from the government side. That's those that are, government is the one that's supposed to regulate all those things. But apart from that, we even intend to make sure that we are forming out a program now that we even go to those people that we are noticing that what they are doing is capable of destroying the environment, by enlightening them, making them to see that what they are doing is really wrong. So you can see that it's a two-way approach now. Not necessarily doing Ministry of Environment works. We will pass the information to them, but we will now go to the people, enlighten them. This is what they're supposed to do. This is what they are not supposed to do.
Thank you very much. Sir, how do you change this top-down policy
approach?
You
see, part of what the chairman has just said, the advocacy aspect of planning, is about a bottom-up approach. We are no longer talking down to the people. We are taking people along in our planning efforts, because advocacy is an important aspect of planning itself. There is an aspect of planning that we call planning advocacy. So it's about enlightening the people. It's about projecting the interest of the people, because planning is largely seen as a public-oriented activity. So that's why a lot of people see it as a distant thing. They don't see planning as something that actually benefits the masses. So it is something that people see and as government see. But as professionals in that field, it is our responsibility to let the people know their rights. That is what we call planning advocacy, and how the people themselves can treat the environment so that the environment can also be beneficial to them. So part of what we are doing now is to let the people know. It is, let me also tell you that it is not the illiterate people alone or the downtrodden people that don't see the importance of planning in most cases. Even the enlightened one, the elites, sometimes they disregard the planning activities as if it is not meant to even benefit them.
Even particularly in new settlements.
Yes. So some people, when you even tell them to go for planning permit before they embark on, they think it's a waste of time. They think it's a waste of money. So they rather spend money on the physical development project rather than taking the very first thing that is supposed to do. Taking planning permission is supposed to be the first thing. And as for the synergy that we are talking about with the Ministry of Environment, it is not only with the Ministry of Environment. All of us in the built environment, we need to synergize to make sure that we create an environment that is conducive for all of us. So whether you are in housing, developing aspect, whether you are in the environment, whether you are in the transportation sector, planning is all embracing. Planning should be embraced by all to create that city that we all love to see.
I really like to ask you again, when you look at the master plan in any setting, why is it that town planners or government, so to say, but because town planners are also part of government?
Yes.
Why is it that
in most cases?
why is it that they cannot adhere to the master plan and ensure that
follow it through
distortions and new sites, new buildings that are coming up fit into the proper planning?
Well, maybe what we should address first is how many of our cities actually have the master plan that you are talking about. How many of our states have regional plan? How many of our small settlements have plans as basic as even structure plan or even a layout plan? Or local plan. We are still in the mode of stressing the need for it to our government, that we need to develop plans. It is only when you have those plans in place, all those master plans that you are talking about, that you can say you want to enforce it, you want to align your development to go along with the plan. But how many of those? So that is the starting point. Let us employ our government at all levels, from the local to the state to the federal. There are different layers of plans that are supposed to have been prepared, but we are not doing that. I pity most of my people that are working with government, because they are really trying. It is like trying to force water from the rock when you don't have existing development plans and you want your city to be planned. It means that what they are doing mostly is ad hoc arrangement at planning. If you come to OGTV Ajebo side and start looking at the houses that conform with planning rules and regulations, that is ad hoc plan, because you don't have master plan to actually say, okay, in this part of Ajebo side, these are the land uses that are supposed to be there. This is where we're supposed to have residential area. This is where you're supposed to have a public institution. This is where roads supposed to go through.
Well, let me go to the chairman, because it sounds amusing to say that when a new site is being developed, that the state does not have a plan. I want to believe that at the onset, when an environment is discovered, certain professionals are supposed to have gone to work to begin to map out, and a collection of architects, town planners, builders, surveyors are supposed to have congregated to come up with a physical plan that will ensure a fine settlement. Is it issue of funding, or is it issue of personnel, or is it the issue of non-cooperative attitude of government?
If I want to answer you straight, I will say all that you have mentioned. But then I will still need to add one more thing. At times it could be political interference. Now, but I also need to mention that as a nation, we are just trying to making sure that we get our things in order. We are not there yet. Planning is supposed to be the first thing that will be done. For example, the new estate that you mentioned. When the surveyor gets there and runs his perimeter survey, the next person that's supposed to work is the planner. Is the planner that will order the use of that area that is going to be. Because even no matter how small or how big an estate is, it is the planner that would have determined where what will be before the architect, the engineers will now really come in. He would have shown in his design where the road infrastructure and other infrastructures will be. But let me just say, our governments will continue to hope that they will know what to do. You know, the first thing, with respect and apologies, the first time I came here, you know, I can't remember one program that I came for there. I first drove to the other place that OGTV was using. Then I was now told that I had to come here. You know, the first thing that came to my mind as a planner, I said, I'm very sure if a planner was involved in the planning of this OGTV land, the studio will not, this building will not be where it is.
Why do you say so?
Because I could see it.
Structural defects?
Not structural defect now, planning defect. I could see it. I could feel it even when I came. So I just smiled to myself. Now, many of our politicians do not know the role, the importance of the role of planners. That's what I have noticed. And that's what we are trying. Though I'm not a government person, but I think when I see something that is good, we need to mention. Except recently that you have a planner as a commissioner in the Ministry of Physical Planning. But then, if something has been on for decades, can it really be restored or be worked on within few years? It's not possible. So when we have a planner in that ministry, you can be seeing some policies that are coming out now that has the propensity to be able to at least make some things to align. You understand me? But then, so we just need to that's why we are saying that this administration, because our advocacy will not only be to the people, we will still be even talking to the government as well.
Let me ask you this question.
Yes, sir.
Why is it that the elite environment are always well planned than the mass environment?
I would have rather want to really disagree with you.
I want your frank talk on it.
Yes.
Is it that it's a matter of carefree attitude to the social development of the masses?
Even the elite environment that you say is well planned, as far as I'm concerned, from the technical point of view, you will see our elites, they have distorted most of those areas you said they are well planned. Ibarra GRA is a good example. We know how Ibarra GRA was 20 years ago. We know how it is now. Can we still say that it's well planned? But to answer your question, a lot of our people that are not elites, yes, there are so many things they do not really know that they need to be told. Number one. Then number two, don't forget we do not have access to mortgage facilities here. So our people, they are struggling to get money. So they just, if a little money just gets to their hand, the thing that they are looking at is how can I quickly put this in and get a structure. That's not an excuse for them, but that is one of the things, and that's what we want to correct.
We will continue on that note next week, when we are going to look into the issue of adequate funding, the issue of technology, and some other areas that can grow town planning system in Nigeria, particularly in Ogun State. Viewers, this is how far we can go on this edition. Come next week, same Thursday, we'll still be looking at value of public relations to town planning management. We desire a sane environment. We desire a well-planned society where everyone will live in peace with all hygienic conditions made possible. It is on that note that I really want to thank the chairman of the Nigeria Institute of Town Planning, Town Planners, Ogun State Chapter, Pastor ADEFALA SOGBESAN.
Thank you, sir.
You are welcome, sir.
Thank you,
and
sir.
Congratulations once again.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. LUKMON LASISI, it's nice having you. Mr. LUKMON LASISI is the Deputy Rector, Administration, Federal Polytechnic, ILARO, also a town planner. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you.
Until next week, when we meet again, I am Akin Okudoro, your uncle. Stay blessed.